there's nothing but couples around us.
It finally feels like a white Christmas now. It looked more like a snowstorm until a little while ago. Perhaps because the snow lightened up to a point where it's finally suitable for walking outside. Around us, dozens of couples are roaming about with linked arms or held hands, enjoying their evening walks and the scenery of snow slowly drifting into the sea. That's true. I've been to the sea. Actually, I've been to both coasts, but I've never actually been there when it was snowing. I've been there when it was raining, but never when it was actually snowing. So I've never actually seen the snow drift into the sea. Though I imagine it's much like the snow drifting into the lake. I am near a pretty major lake, so yeah. All that's different is the waves aren't as big on the lake. I might ruin the mood if I tried doing something like that myself. But the couples around us don't seem embarrassed at all, paying no mind to our stares.
Hey, doesn't it feel like we're on a date?
I guess.
Instead of I guess, you're supposed to answer with, well, it is a date after all, don't you think?
Sorry. Treating the people around me like air in such a way isn't something I'm capable of doing. I definitely end up making it embarrassing and awkward like I did just now.
Jeez, why can't you read the mood? Stop being so reserved already. This is like a sacred place for couples, you know?
I didn't come here because I wanted to. I've always been this kind of person, haven't I? Stiff, plain, and a complete bore to be around. If I suddenly became all defiant about it like that, she'd probably bring up stuff like the dinner bill again. So, there's no way I can say it out loud.
Yeah, you have. And that's exactly what I liked about you.
Pretty poor taste you have there. But even if I make tasteless comments like these, Setsuna still replies so charmingly, as if she hadn't caught on to the mood at all, and keeps driving me into a corner.
It's a white Christmas.
If the roads end up freezing over today, we'll have a tough day ahead of us tomorrow.
Everything's pure white.
Too bad snow in Tokyo turns black almost instantly.
Brings back memories, doesn't it?
Setsuna's words are spontaneous. Setsuna's words aren't spontaneous.
Brings back memories of that Christmas 3 years ago, doesn't it?
Setsuna is ignoring the mood on purpose, and she isn't letting me downplay the situation, no matter how hard I try to.
It was snowing back then, too. It was a white Christmas back then, right?
It certainly didn't have the same feel to it, though, location-wise.
I know, right? A Japanese-style room, yukata, and an open-air hot spring bath. You couldn't find a hint of Christianity there at all.
Setsuna is laughing pleasantly and in approval beside me. It's because she thinks poking fun at our current topic is the right choice.
Kazusa in the driver's seat, racing through the snow at 1,000,000 miles an hour before doing a few graceful spins and crashing into a wall of snow.
That was definitely the scariest and most embarrassing day I've ever experienced in my life. After all, it happened to trigger a switch that awakened memories long past. My switch, and likely hers as well.
Is that all? So it wasn't the greatest treat for your eyes that you've ever experienced in your life?
Are you talking about...
The flawless skin of two young maidens.
I was dead drunk, so I don't remember anything.
Liar! You look like you sobered up the instant we got in.
You were pretty drunk yourself, too, weren't you, Setsuna? You shouldn't trust those hazy memories of yours.
Oh, so I was drunk already? If you remember that, then I guess you must have been sober after all, Haruki-kun. So, you still remember, huh? My nude body back then?
Come on, let's not talk about those embarrassing things.
But it's too bad. My skin probably is not as smooth as it was back then anymore.
That's not true, you know. Absolutely not. Your skin is still smooth, even now. No, it's not like I've actually confirmed it or anything.
Hearing you say it so passionately makes me both happy and embarrassed.
Let's drop it already. Everyone's staring at us. Our loud voices stood out so much that we began drawing annoyed glares from the couples around us. But that only means that we created a world just for ourselves, where we were able to tune out the couples around us.
No, I won't drop it. It's the same day as it was back then, and the same snow that fell upon us back then too, after all.
Setsuna, that's why we ignore the couples around us and simply continue to talk about things that aren't merely enjoyable.
It's snowing, Haruki-kun. Hey, Haruki-kun, do you like snow?
Do you, Setsuna? I don't really like it or dislike it. This is something that I can't just laugh off. More importantly, it's a question that I absolutely cannot ask her in return. After all, the snow had always been falling upon us, whenever we stood at the crossroads that divided our fates.
Don't you still remember it? The snow we saw outside the car's windows back then?
The snow that fell as I embraced Kazusa, knowing that I would never be forgiven.
How about the snow that piled up outside the inn? We all just sat there drinking, blankly staring out the windows.
The snow that Setsuna saw as she looked out through the windows the very moment I betrayed her.
How about the snow that just kept falling and falling, even though it melted as soon as it touched the water?
And there was the time I was urged by Setsuna to look for Kazusa. There was the snow that hid the long-departed airplane during the tiny period of time when I had all traces of Setsuna's existence erased from my heart. The same snow as it was back then didn't only refer to the snow that fell on Christmas.
To me, snow is...
Let's stop, Setsuna. Let's stop associating the snow with what happened 3 years ago. The snow that's falling today isn't the same snow that fell back then.
What's the difference? It's just as white, just as cold, and just as beautiful.
That's not what I mean. What I'm trying to say is, what I'm really afraid of isn't her associating the snow with what happened 3 years ago.
Are you saying that it's because Kazusa was still here to watch the snow fall back then?
That's not it. But rather, her associating it with her memories of Kazusa.
Hey, Haruki-kun, do you still love the snow? And do you still love Kazusa?
Didn't I say that already? I've already forgotten about Toma. No problem. I've run this simulation in my head 1,000,000 times, haven't I? I didn't stutter a single word, nor did I come off as unnaturally cold. So, could you stop being so fixated on what happened 3 years ago? If you're willing to forgive what I did, that is, with a natural but slightly forceful tone of voice. I tried to let her know that while it might hurt a little, everything that I'm saying isn't a lie.
It's because of what happened 3 years ago that we're able to be here now.
There's nothing left of it to me, though. All that remains is the weight of the sin I have committed.
Sin?
The grave, indelible sin of having betrayed you, Setsuna.
No such thing remains. You never committed any sin, Haruki-kun. There was no such thing from the very beginning.
You know that's not true. You know the extent of how much I've hurt you, Setsuna.
That's only because I stole a march on her despite knowing how both of you felt. Any pain I feel is just retribution for my selfish actions.
See? How about we just stop? We'll just end up drowning ourselves in guilt at this rate.
Haruki-kun.
As expected, I had to use an unusual method to prevent our conversation from continuing towards its expected direction. Setsuna, why don't we just start over?
Start over? You mean forget about everything that ever happened?
No. What we'll be forgetting is the day when the three of us came together. And all that will be left are memories of Setsuna. My memory of meeting Setsuna and finding her again on the roof. My memory of being entranced by her voice and trying my best to convince her. My memory of going so far as to take advantage of her weak points and intruding upon Setsuna's true face, one that no one had ever seen before. My memory of finally getting her to agree to be my songstress and taking her hand out of sheer happiness. Let's forget all about it. The snow that fell back then, and her as well. And what comes after that will be a completely original story, featuring only the two of us. We're the only two left in the light music club. The guitarist and Setsuna, the singer. Together, we only managed a boring, unexciting, and overall mediocre performance. But even so, we were more than satisfied with the results. And later, at our two-person after-party, our hands and lips eventually joined together before we knew it, because the mood felt just right somehow. It's almost too good of a deal for me. You could call it the very epitome of opportunism. The ultimate solution that would ease the guilt that's been burdening both Setsuna and myself.
Are you going to forget about Kazusa? Can you forget her?
I've already forgotten about her. But haven't we had enough already? Haven't I had enough of persisting with my sins? And hasn't Setsuna had enough of denying them? We've been repeating these heart-wrenching conflicts for 3 years now. and we're more than exhausted from it all. We might not be able to come to terms with it immediately. I'll need some time to forgive myself as well.
As for me,
So, let's just take it slowly. We can keep in contact with texts and calls, can't we?
You know I can't say no to that.
Thank you, Setsuna.
You're so unfair, Haruki-kun.
Am I?
Why is the hand you're extending toward me so gentle, despite how cruel your words are?
The promise to forget Kazusa and one day choose Setsuna is something that should have been fulfilled long ago. A promise that remained unfulfilled for 3 years due to the rather poor way we handled things with one another.
Even though it's wrong, even though it's the most awful choice possible, I just can't go against what you just said, Haruki-kun.
I'll repay you in time. Wait, that sounds weird, doesn't it? We just started over after all. Let's just try to get to know each other more, okay? Sneaking a look at Setsuna's downcast face, I can see a blush that surely isn't a result of the cold. Her teary eyes, unsteady breathing, and shivering lips. Her expression reminds me of the moment right after one of our kisses from long ago. The alluring, captivating, and evocative instability in her expression, normally hidden behind her pure and composed exterior, is enough to drive any man crazy. If you show me something as amazing as this, It's about time we headed back. Can only turn tail and run, because at this rate, I won't be able to hold myself back for much longer. I'll end up throwing away the plans I made when I was still calm and lose myself to my desires. I'll take you home. Well, we're both going the same way, so that's a given. I hope the trains haven't stopped.
Haruki-kun.
Let's go, Setsuna. The station's that way, right? With a pained expression accompanied by a vivid blush. Setsuna stares me directly in the eye, unable to stand looking into those dangerous eyes that could almost suck me in at any moment. I hastily turn my face away, returning to the path from which I arrived. But Setsuna? Setsuna doesn't follow me as I cowardly retreat. She turns her pained expression into something akin to a young girl's pout and casts an accusatory glance at me. And then, I don't want to. Her girlish and childish expression has spread to her way of speech, and through it, her thoughts are delivered to my ears.
It's Christmas, you know?
First, the unreasonable bits of selfishness you would expect from a young girl.
Watching a movie, having dinner, and taking a walk in the park. You can't just leave after making me steal my resolve so much.
And then, without changing her manner of speech, her words alone become those of a woman. I'm sorry for inviting you out to a place like this, but I had my reason.
You can't be apologizing for that. You said we would treat everything up until today as if it had never happened.
That's why I'm saying we should just talk for today, and getting tricked by her way of speech and carelessly letting the distance between us shorten again was a fatal mistake.
I haven't given you a present yet, Haruki-kun. I got such a wonderful gift from you, and yet I haven't given you anything in return.
Don't worry about it. It was something I decided all on my own.
Just kidding. I actually came empty-handed on purpose, just so I wouldn't be able to give you something in return.
Huh? Because I can see it in her eyes.
I told them that I would be staying over.
I can see an extremely alluring charm within them, concealing something all too dangerous amidst its cuteness and selfishness. A sight capable of luring any man into the abyss.
This is what I've prepared in return. An inevitable substitute for the present I forgot to buy.
Setsuna.
Something incredibly mundane and incredibly selfish. It's something that I'm forcing onto you.
I'm no stranger to this, though.
Will you accept it despite all that?
An aggressive and unexpected sneak attack. The signature move of the mischievous Setsuna.
I mean, I meant to give it to you 3 years ago, and to this day, the wrapping is still intact. Myself.
To the man I am now after these 3 years, it's more than enough to drive me crazy.
I don't know how long I should keep this up.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
I've done my best these past 3 years, you know. I've been restraining myself and only taking slow, careful steps towards you.
I know.
But I couldn't shorten the distance between us at all. I couldn't even get close enough to touch you like this. Yeah, I couldn't do this at all.
And so, like this, we can now feel each other's touch. Just like how I was about to be sucked into her eyes. Setsuna found herself fully drawn into my chest. I hide her captivating expression inside my chest, like this. If I hide her captivating expression inside my chest like this, all that's left are the selfish, albeit excruciating cries of a spoiled child.
It's so warm. The snow doesn't feel cold anymore, and neither does the wind. All because you're here to warm me up, Haruki-kun.
Or you're in end-stage hypothermia. Yeah, but this actually calms me down. In a different way compared to how Setsuna's feeling, probably.
Until now, no matter how slowly we got closer to each other, we always ended up running away right before we could reach each other. You and me both, Haruki-kun.
But we can feel each other's touch now.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. And so, Setsuna, maybe because she never wants to leave again, brings herself deeper and deeper into my embrace.
I'm the one who should be apologizing.
I already said it was my fault.
You can't. If you apologize like that, you'll make it seem like I'm innocent.
Setsuna.
If everything I've done has been right, then I won't be able to accomplish what I want to do right now. That's why I'm the one at fault.
Setsuna's warmth, softness, and charm has, once again, seeped into me, bringing my entire body under her spell.
So, before I have time to rethink things, and before my resolve fades, Make me yours.
My mind, still calm, is desperately sending me warnings, saying that if I really value Setsuna, it's even more of a reason for me to not go through with this.
I want you to relieve me of this pain.
Because Setsuna is not herself right now. She's forcing herself more than she needs to, doing everything she can to get closer to me. Indeed, forcing herself way too much. Too obsessed with her trying to accept me. She hasn't realized that her own feelings have yet to catch up with her actions. We didn't need to rush this. We had more than enough time. However, the long and painful suffering that Setsuna went through until now had left her with no other choice. So, I guess, in the end, it's my fault after all. But if you were to compare it, this is, without a doubt, the wrong decision. A substantially riskier choice among all the other alternatives. Like taking a powerful medicine with vicious side effects to treat an ailment. Unfortunately, thinking about things like that is meaningless.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
My body lets out screams of ecstasy as I help myself to Setsuna's lips.
It's gotten harder to reach you, even on my tiptoes. You've gotten a lot taller, Haruki-kun.
Did I? I only recall not really knowing what to do in the past and just bending down to your height.
So that's what happened. You were always so kind and gentle, even when I couldn't notice it.
Am I not being gentle right now?
Yeah, you were so incredible, so intense. Not like a boy, but a man.
Sorry. I squeezed Setsuna's lower lip with my lips, moved my tongue about, looked at her greedily. I wasn't being gentle at all, even though it's been so long since the last time. And precisely because it's been so long since then, I couldn't control myself at all.
But there are some things that haven't changed at all.
Like what?
Your left eye tooth. Whenever we kiss, I can always feel it a little. Brings back memories. I'm really kissing you again, aren't I, Haruki-kun?
Setsuna.
Haruki-kun, if you say you want to start over and forget about what happened with the three of us back then.
Don't say anything. Beyond any of our choices lie even more decisions. Before we can even see the full consequence of our previous choice, we are confronted with even more unknowns.
Then I have to take back these 3 years of emptiness.
Setsuna, the situation is progressing far faster than I can keep up with.
I have to hurry and turn back into that me that loved you so much, Haruki-kun. The spoiled girl that couldn't stand being away from you for even a single second.
Room number 1732. A little Christmas present from me to you. Don't worry, I paid for it already. That's why I don't know what's safe and what's not anymore.
Huh?
I have a room booked already.
Okay.
I'm simply staying true to my desires. I only know that I'm taking the path that my instincts demand me to. I can see it's still snowing through the window, but the snow I see now seems lighter, as if it will stop at any second. A clear night view takes form as both the sea covered in a deep black and the bridge decorated in a dazzling white come into sight below me. But no matter how much I force myself to enjoy this scenery through the windows of a high-rise, I can't quell the disturbances in my emotions right now, as if I bet all my chips on black and can only sit and watch as the roulette spins. Impatience and unbelievable amounts of excitement flood my mind. When I got in the room with Setsuna just now, even I was amazed at myself for being able to hold myself back. Even as I suggested that she take a shower first, it was tearing me apart since I really wanted to just embrace her and make her mine right then and there. Even now, I can't guarantee that seeing Setsuna walk out of the bathroom dripping wet won't awaken some sort of primal beast within me. First, I should hold her down with my entire body so that she can't fight back. After that, should I forcefully attack her, or should I gradually tease her? I might even be licking my lips thinking about scary things like that. I can't trust myself to act rationally at all. I've completely strayed from my initial goals. Right now, I can't see myself treating her with gentlemanly sincerity. I can't do this. I can't do something that will only bring her discomfort. But Setsuna, on the other hand, didn't shy away at all, even during the check-in. As I shakily wrote down Iizuka Takia on the sheet, she unreservedly pressed up right against me, burying her face in my shoulder, not trying to hide what we came to this hotel for at all. And when I struggled to come up with a second fake name, she took the pen from me and promptly wrote down Mizusawa Io right beside it. Having forced down a few mouthfuls of cola, I let out a few carbonic acid-laden breaths. I need to calm down. I need to be gentle. I can't turn back now. I have to go through with it. But if that's the case, then no matter what, I can't let Setsuna leave here with painful memories. Once morning comes, I want to smile and take comfort in knowing that the path I chose was the right one. There's someone here to witness this desperate and pathetic side of me, with the same cold expression as always. Inside my bag, because Setsuna couldn't fit it in her bag, I held on to the copy of Ensemble. What do you want? On the cover is a woman with long black hair, wearing a black dress. The color is just as reminiscent of a crow's sheen as it always has been. Stop looking at me with those eyes. You're always making fun of me like that. And the fact that you always look so cool while doing so makes me even angrier. Past the colored pages at the beginning, I can see her solo performance. Kazusa, the piano, and the stage, the spotlight, the audience seats, and Kazusa again. What's with this? What's with this fulfilled look of immersion on your face, ecstatically playing the piano like this? You only showed me that side of you one single time, but I fell asleep in the middle of it, so I can't even remember it too well. Hey, Kazusa, I'm glad that you went to Europe. I'm glad you found success. Gaining all this fame is simply amazing. Unlike amateurs such as myself, you're surrounded by people that truly understand your value. I'm really glad. What a joke. You're a celebrity, a budding pianist showered with expectations, a thoroughbred blessed with beauty, talent, and lineage. Stop making me laugh, you delinquent. If I hadn't been there to guide you on the right path, right now you'd just be some shut-in going through life as you please with your mother's money. This is so ridiculous, so idiotic. These bits of dry laughter are all that I can manage.
Everything's okay. I've always loved Haruki-kun. Everything's okay. Everything's fine. I've always loved Haruki-kun. He said he loved me back, too. He wanted me. So, there's nothing standing between us. We're only doing things that we naturally should be. Uncertainty? Not a shred of it. Regret? There's no way I would. Because I've forgotten all about what happened in the past. I'm sorry, Kazusa. Today, I'm going to be taking Haruki-kun from you. I'm not going to hand him over to anyone anymore. Haruki-kun.
Calm down, YouTube. She's in a towel.
Huh?
Want something to drink?
No. I'm good.
I see.
Yeah. Hey.
Want to come over here? It's okay. Let's take it slowly. We have plenty of time until morning anyway.
Okay.
Want to sit down? Setsuna.
Haruki-kun, you know, the shower.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. That was careless of me.
That's not...
Give me a few minutes. I won't take long.
No, you can take your time. We have plenty of time before morning comes, right?
Yeah, you're right, Setsuna.
Uh-huh.
Then, I guess I'll...
Hey.
Huh?
Haruki-kun, it feels like,
What is it?
No, nothing. I'll wait here.
Okay.
Should I just take it off now? Or maybe it's better if I wait for him to take it off for me. I guess I'll get a drink after all. Huh? Kazusa? Oh. Sorry, Kazusa. Don't look at me now. Huh? Why is it on the bed?
It's almost time. Tonight will mark the end. We'll be able to be at ease from tomorrow onward. It'll really be just the two of us. Since, well, nobody treats their own body as a burden, right? Nobody has ever collapsed under their own weight, right? So, if Setsuna becomes my other half, then I won't feel burdened anymore. Both Setsuna and I will finally be free from the curse we placed on ourselves. Hey, Kazusa. Today's the day that I'm going to forget you. From now on, I'll be writing my history with Setsuna, and only Setsuna. This should have come about much earlier, really. If you had just ignored me from the start, we would have been living much more happily than we are now. Yeah, right. Pinning the blame on you when it's really all my fault is pretty horrible of me. But I won't apologize to you, okay? Because, well, I'm the one who made Setsuna cry. You betrayed her with me as well, didn't you? Weren't we accomplices? Goodbye. This is farewell, Kazusa. Pictured, Toma Kazusa during her time as a student at Hojo High School. Absences, 54 days in the first year, 91 days in the second year, and 37 after switching to the regular program in the third year. However, her absences in the third year were to prepare for studying abroad after she was certified for graduation. It should be noted that during these 3 years of Toma Kazusa's education, she has never been incredibly ill and was the very epitome of good health.
This does sound like the kind of sarcasm Haruki-kun would use.
Pictured, Hojo High School, Music Room 2. There are 3 music rooms in Hojo High. Music Room 1 is used exclusively by students in the regular program. Music Room 3 is used exclusively by the students in the music program. Music Room 2 was mainly used as a spare classroom. However, during Toma Kazusa's 3 years at the school, she utilized it as her exclusive practice room.
You two are going to be held back a year because you keep hanging around me, you know.
What are you saying? You've got it backwards. You're the one who's going to graduate because you keep hanging around us.
After the school festival is over, we'll tutor you personally, alright? I'm confident that I'm better at English than Haruki-kun is, at least.
At any rate, our graduations and recommendations are pretty much guaranteed, so we'll be sticking with you through each and every supplementary exam you've got.
Are you guys stupid or something?
There's no one here quite as stupid as you are, Toma.
You're awful, Haruki-kun. You're always bad-mouthing Kazusa whenever you talk about her.
Pictured, the stage during the Hojo High School Festival. Due to the discord between her and Yuko, Kazusa spent many days separated from her piano, but could not completely remove herself from music as a whole. Atop the stage, her performance was not limited to only the keyboard, but extended to the saxophone and bass as well. For the first time in several years, she was met with an applause from her audience. She was the first person to ever take my guitar playing seriously. When Kazusa had first arrived at the school, due to the tension from the multitude of conflicts between her and her classmates and teachers, it only took a few days for her to be completely isolated from her surroundings. However, her high aspirations that wouldn't allow for compromises in the lectured material, practice schedule, and the level of her performance was also an important deciding factor. Toma Kazusa had inherited not only the incredible talent, but also the troublesome attitude of her mother, Toma Yoko. I said that although her personality is bad, the fact that she can't follow through with her cruelty due to her kind nature was interesting. Who cares about her reputation or what rumors there are? The truth is, Toma's a really kind person deep down. Man, it's so frustrating that no one understands this. The isolated and overly emotional Kazusa followed in the footsteps of the wild and equally emotional Yoko, and chose not to restrict herself to Japan's musical world. But it's because of this that she was able to meet Yoko's former mentor, Martin Flugel, who helped her talents bloom so beautifully. All we can really do is respect her decision. That's why I'll see her off with a smile, just like she wants us to. Currently, she is living in a detached house in the suburbs of Vienna, along with her teacher, rival, and mother, with which she had once cut all ties, Toma Yoko. What footsteps will this budding talent leave behind in the world? You'll find the answers to that in the future endeavors of Toma Kazusa. And, at the end, an important postscript. Be it Kazusa herself, or the people watching over her journey from now on, they should all offer their gratitude to a certain person, no matter how much Toma Kazusa herself might deny this. If it were not for Toma Yoko, she would not be who she is now, both as an artist and as a person in general. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The date was going so well, but it looks like it's falling apart at the last moment. Can these two mend their relationship if Toma is still on his mind? But as I've been saying since the beginning, a throuple would have avoided this problem. Monogamy, the true culprit.